Okay. Am I up and running now? Oh, man. Let me see. Let me make sure. Testing, testing, audio check. Okay, I appear to be running functionally now. Okay. Everything seems to be working fine now. I think what happened was, if any of you saw, I had tried to start this stream twice already, but for some reason I couldn't check if my audio was working. I have no idea if it was or not, because apparently the speakers on my computer were not working, so I couldn't hear anything, not even just other things on YouTube or anything on my computer. It was really weird, but a quick restart seems to have fixed that issue, so yay! Now I know for a fact that everything seems to be working fine. Thank goodness. Alright. Now, if anyone joins in, you will notice the title of this video says, or stream, is Pikmin 2 Deathless Challenge. This is something that I've wanted to try for a little while now. I've never made it through a Pikmin game before without having any Pikmin deaths, because that is much easier said than done. I try not to let my Pikmin die, because I do care for my little troopers. I really do. But sometimes it's really hard to not let a single one die. It really can be tough sometimes. But I'm going to do it seriously this time. And for those of you wondering, why am I picking Pikmin 2 to do this in? One, I've already played Pikmin 1 on my channel, like 3 separate times. Once as the original videos on this channel. The second as part of the 5-year anniversary live stream, which was fun. And I've played through on Pikmin Squared, which is, technically it's a Pikmin 2 ROM hack, but it's a remake of the original game using Pikmin 2's engine. Go watch that out. I've live streamed that playthrough on my channel too, called Pikmin Squared. It's not just Pikmin 1, it's even got a whole new, story mode starring Louie. It's literally called Louie's Quest. It's really fun. Lots of cool content in that little mod there. But yeah, I've played the first game 3 different times. Also, I don't think it'd actually be possible for me to do a Deathless run in Pikmin 1, even though it's a much shorter game. But Pikmin 1 has so much jank in it. It is a janky game. It is super, super janky. Those of you who've played Pikmin 1, you know exactly what I mean. Pikmin 2 has far less jank in it. Pikmin are so much more responsive. Another reason I'm picking Pikmin 2 is because I haven't done Pikmin 2 stuff in a long time. It's, I did play it through on my channel, let's see, in the first year, so what was that, back in 2019 now? Dang, it's been that long already, goodness. And, man, when I played Pikmin 2, it was still one of the early times I was talking into the microphone, so I sounded really nervous. I was a lot quieter. Not as very expressive as I am now. So I kind of wanted to go back and redo it and show some appreciation to this game. And 3, another reason I wanted to do Pikmin 2, I wanted to make this a bit of a challenge for myself. For those of you who have played Pikmin before, and if the 10 of you people out there who are watching this stream who have played the Pikmin before, yeah, I think you would agree that Pikmin 2 is the hardest game in the series, and that's not a debate. It is easily the hardest game in the series. Pikmin 1 has some hard moments, but that's mostly just because of how janky it is. Pikmin 3, much easier, honestly. It's got a couple tough moments, but it's honestly pretty darn easy. In Pikmin 4, you have Ochi, and Ochi just kind of makes that game really easy. Unless you're playing the new hard mode they added, which does actually make the game pretty challenging. Pikmin 2 is easily the toughest game in the whole trilogy, or quadrilogy at this point, so that's why I'm picking Pikmin 2. Plus, I just really like this game, and I just wanted to show some more love to it. So, without further ado, let's present the rules of this challenge. It is a deathless challenge, so I cannot have a single Pikmin die. If a single Pikmin dies, whether it dies from being killed by an enemy, an environmental hazard, or if I accidentally leave one behind at the end of the day, I have to redo that day. I'll have to redo the entire day. And fortunately, this game does let you go back in time to redo certain days. Now, if a Pikmin dies in a cave, that's a bit more forgiving, because if it dies in a cave, I can just reset the cave, because it saves between each sub-level, so I'll just be able to reset a sub-level. Regardless, it's going to be tough. Them's the rules of the challenges. If a captain dies, that doesn't really matter, because technically the captains can't die in this game. If they lose all their health, they just get knocked unconscious and they revive the next day, so there's really no permadeath for the captains. Pikmin, though, nah. If they die, I restart. Restart to, not the whole game, not that crazy. Restart the day, or restart whatever current sub-level I'm on and whatever dungeon I'm in. So let's do this. Alright, first I gotta pick a file. Let's see. I guess I'll pick file 3 here. Yep. Erasing the file. Now, this is not going to be a very optimal playthrough. Don't count on this being super efficient in as few days as possible, because it's not the whole goal of this challenge. The goal of this challenge is to not have a single Pikmin die. So if that means I played a little bit slower, then that's why. Also, I also wanted to do this just because it's been a while since I've done some Pikmin content, and you know, that's how I got my start on my channel here with Pikmin. I do have a couple Pikmin 2 ROM hacks I do plan to play on in the future, and those are going to be fun on their own. But I wanted to give this a try because when I play the ROM hacks, there's no way I'm going to be able to do a Deathless run. They are much harder than this game. That says a lot. Alright, let's do this. Hokotate Freight is a long-haul deep space shipping company. One day, its only employee of any merit, Captain Olimar, crashed on an uncharted planet while on an interstellar vacation. There, he was aided by indigenous creatures, which he called Pikmin. In the end, Captain Olimar escaped. And that's the plot of the first game. But in Olimar's absence, his employer, Hokotate Freight, ran into financial difficulties. They bought too much cryptocurrency. No, I'm kidding. The SS Dolphin. Spend an entire first game rebuilding this ship. Welcome to Planet Hokotate. Oh, jeez. Oh, goodness, what happened here? I mean, we knew financial difficulty, but good lord. President Hokotate Freight and local employee, Louis. Oh, Louis. Louis. Ugh. I get PTSD just thinking of him. Olimar, I'm so glad you're safe. Yes, very glad. Quite glad. But sadly, I have an announcement that is not so glad. Our company's going under. Yes, we're finished. On his first mission, Louis here met a ravenous space bunny, and his entire load of golden Pick brand carrots was eaten. I took out an enormous loan to repay the debt from this loss. I decided to sell off corporate assets to repay the loan. Aw, not cool, man. But the only asset we had to sell was your ship, the SS Dolphin. As for the rest of our loan, we have no means to repay it. Well, that stinks, and I just rebuilt that ship. It sucks to see it get sold off every time I see this cutscene, man. Olimar, what is that? You brought that back as a souvenir for your kid? I don't care for bug-eyed Louie. I hate that model. Treasure, 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 money, money, money. Money, 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 money. Initiating valuation of recovered treasure. This artifact is worth 100 Pokos. This thing's worth 100 Pokos? That's more than a year's salary. How much is a Poco worth? Is inflation that bad? There are more on that planet? I can repay our debt. Louis, you dolt! Look alive! You must depart immediately! With Captain Olimar! I hope the audio's not too loud. If it is, I can always adjust it. It's always so painful to see the SS Dolphin just get sold off like that. He spent the entire first game. The whole point of the first game is to get Olimar to escape the planet by rebuilding the SS Dolphin. By the way, this planet's called PNF 404. It may look like Earth, but don't be fooled. It is Earth. It's Earth in the deep future. Deep future, far future. Oh dear. Can people stop crashing their ships? It's like the plot of. That's like the start of every Pikmin game. No, seriously, every Pikmin game starts with crash landing a ship on the planet. On this planet, PNF 404. Of course, it didn't get its name till Pikmin 3, but whatever. That was close. I've averted a crash landing, running diagnostics. Okay, I guess technically you don't crash on Pikmin 2, but you get really close to it. Alert! Danger! Louis is missing. He must have somehow fallen out of his cockpit. He's not responding via his communicator. He's either flouting protocol or in danger. Olimar must find Louis before he freezes to death in the cold of this planet. Wait a moment. Look! Here we're gonna have the ship talking a lot in this game. I apologize. Could these be Pikmin? They look like they are about to be devoured as we speak. You must help them. Point to the screen and press B to call them with your whistle. You can also hold B to make the sound of your whistle carry farther. Remember? Well, yes, I do remember. Thank you for asking. Come here, my boys. And in case you're wondering what version I'm playing, this is the Wii version. The Pikmin ran to your side. They seem to remember you, Captain Olimar. How fascinating. Give them instructions and do not delay. Hold A to grab a Pikmin, then point it at the screen and release to throw it. Yes, the first day is a very tutorial heavy. This right here is a dwarf bulborb. Easiest way to kill it, grab a Pikmin, throw it on its back. I missed. Throw it on its back. Throw it on its back. There we go. Hey, 5th time's the try, right? And you don't have to worry about Pikmin dying here. It is impossible for a Pikmin to die on this very first day. Otherwise, you would just be completely screwed. Attention, Captain Olimar. I have just re-established my communications link with Louis. It is fortunate we have managed to confirm its safety. Press minus to communicate with him. I am quite interested in the details of his condition. Alright, so we press minus, and we switch over to Louis. Do like the little imprint he left in the snow. Louis, allow me to assess your condition as per our safety protocols. Are you at all injured? Is that so? Then my concerns are eased. Our communication link shows you're nearby. Can you make your way to our location and rejoin us? I will navigate for you. Press plus to contact me and obtain information about the terrain. Yeah, so the revolutionary thing this game added was the 2 captains. I know that seems kind of simple now, but this is the first game that did it. The first game was only Olimar. And hello. Louis, the odd object before you appears to be one of the onions mentioned in Olimar's report. Yes, these things are actually called onions. And the reason Olimar named them onions in the first game is because to him, they looked like onions. I don't know what kind of onions he's eating, but they look like onions to him. See, the onion ejected just sprouted. According to Olimar's report, it can be plucked with A. Yes, the existential crisis of pressing the A button. It's a boy, I think. Louis, this must be one of the Pikmin creatures from Olimar's report. It is staring at your soul. You can press down on the D-pad to issue objectives to your Pikmin squad and direct their movement. You can disband your squad with C. Interesting. Olimar's description of the creatures resembling Pikmin carrots was strikingly accurate. Louis, my sensors have detected drool in the corner of your mouth. You're right. Yeah, Louis's whole character thing, he likes to eat. No, I'm serious. That's what he does. He likes to eat everything. If you play Pikmin 2, 3, or 4, you will know this to be the case. Alright, so we gotta build up our numbers here. These little flowers here are called pellet posies. Drain their health, they'll drop a pellet. Get a Pikmin to grab a pellet, they'll take it back to the onion and use it to create more Pikmin. The onion ejected more seeds. The pellet from that flower must hold nutrients that breed Pikmin. Yes, the Pikmin gather nutrients, haul them to the onion, and further propagate the species. Onion is a Pikmin mothership. Reviewing Olimar's report, it seems repeatedly tapping A lets one rapidly pluck Pikmin sprouts. Oh yeah. Here, buddy, you get that. And I'll get these guys. So yeah, if you want to pluck multiple Pikmin at a time, just spam the A button. The more Pikmin you have carrying an object, the faster they will carry it back to the onion. Now, with these being 1 pellets, you might be wondering, why are they giving me 2 Pikmin each? Well, there's a little secret mechanic the game doesn't really tell you about. And that, if you match a 1 pellet with the correct color of onion, so red with red, or yellow with yellow, then it will give you 2 Pikmin. That only works with the 1 pellets. That's only a thing with the 1 pellets. It doesn't work with any of the other ones, because there are like 5 and 10 pellets we'll see later. It's only with the 1 pellets. I don't think the game ever tells you this, but that's just something to remember. Alright. It's a big Duracell battery! It's a D battery. You can actually see it. Perhaps this object is one of the treasures that we are searching for. The only reason we found it here is because this is where you crash-landed. Unfortunate. We would like to appraise it, but you must regroup with Olimar first. Can you see him? Press Z to move the camera behind you. You can also press left or right on the D-pad to zoom in up on the D-pad to change angles. Yeah, you'll definitely want to get used to the camera controls, so right and left on the D-pad will zoom it out, and pressing up will give you more of a top-down view. Pretty useful. I usually use the top-down view a lot for bettering my aim. I'll throw my Pikmin up on the paper bag here to deflate it. There we go. It's very tutorial heavy the first day or so, but once we get into the nitty-gritty, you'll see that this game gets pretty darn hard. Captain Olimar, Louis, you are reunited at last. This has been a troublesome start to our trip. Now you must feel sure that your combined wits can get you through anything, correct? For now on, use B to form a single group, C to take solo action, and minus to change leaders. So yeah, in order to get more efficient at this game, you'll definitely want to be splitting up into groups. Right now we can't do that yet, so it's just going to be a little bit slow. And aside from the pallet posies to give you more Pikmin, you can also harvest the corpses of your enemies. Pretty dark, but I mean, this is nature after all, it's survival of the fittest. In the meantime, I'll have these guys dig up this treasure here. And if you press down on the D-pad and move your cursor around, you'll do the swarming. They'll basically follow in the direction you go, and includes on the objects. I'll dismiss them here, and they should... Well, they should go to the object, but their AI is a little forked. There we go. They'll start digging that up, but I'll need more of them to carry this. I know for a fact I need 20 Pikmin. I've played this game so many times. A lot of mechanics that we'll go over in the intro here, but I've explained these so many times because I've played Pikmin a lot on this channel. Mostly Pikmin 1. I have played all of the games, except for Hey Pikmin on the 3DS, because that game's fine. Maybe I'll play it someday on my channel. It's okay. It's not really that great, but it's fine. It's a spin-off. It's not one of the mainline series, so it plays pretty differently. Alright. I'll have these guys carry this lovely D battery back. There we go. Alright. So, pellet posies and enemy corpses, they'll go to the onion to propagate your Pikmin. And treasures will go back to the ship so that we can get them appraised and see how much money they're worth. The goal of this game is to pay off the enormous debt that the company has gotten itself into because Louis apparently lost the golden pick carrots to some kind of ravenous space bunny. I'm not sure how much I'm willing to believe that, but I don't know. So while we just wait for these guys to go, yeah, all the treasures in this game are real-life objects, which is pretty cool. I mean, this is a Duracell battery. Now, what's funny is that this game got re-released, a remake on the Switch a couple years ago with the release of Pikmin 4. It literally called Pikmin 1 and 2, Pikmin 1 plus 2. And with Pikmin 3 Deluxe, you can play all four of the mainline Pikmin games on the Nintendo Switch, which is really cool. A lot more people have gotten exposed to these games now. But what's funny is that because a lot of the licenses have expired for these objects, because Pikmin 2 was released back in 2004, they actually had to go and change a lot of the real-world objects to different brands, or even some made-up brands, or different objects entirely in the remake on the Switch, because they didn't have the licensing to use these products anymore. I mean, that's just fascinating. Anyway, this is called the Courage Reactor. Yeah, each individual treasure has its own name and different value of Pokos. So we're going to be seeing a lot of creative names here. Our first day of exploration has yielded our first treasure. We will be done in record time. I took the liberty of naming it when I appraised it. The name reflects my current thinking. Leave it to me to think up catchy names for hit products. It is but one of my many talents. We shall end our first day here and report back to our president. His face will surely be joyous. However, to communicate with Hokotate, we must fly into low orbit above the planet. We will not return to the surface until morning so as to avoid the indigenous nocturnal creatures. Yep, bringing the Courage Reactor back to the ship will automatically end the first day. Normally, Pikmin has a timer that appears on top of the screen that lasts for about like 13 minutes. And you have to get as much stuff as you can get done before nightfall happens, because nightfall is too dangerous. It wouldn't be until Pikmin 4 that we actually got nighttime missions, which Not gonna lie, we're kind of underwhelming. They're not bad. I don't know. I was kind of hoping for something a little different. I'm happy with what we got, though. Pikmin 4 is a fine game. I enjoyed it. Alright, no deaths so far, so we're doing pretty good. Not that a Pikmin can die on the first day. It's literally impossible. Let me get a little email at the end of the day. You found your first bit of treasure. Fine work. Our future depends on your efforts, so check your treasure hoard regularly. I'll check in often. Keep up the pace. And Pikmin 2 has no time limit to beat the game. You can take as long as you want. There's no set amount of days. Pikmin 1, you had to beat the game in 30 days or less. Pikmin 3 was kind of restricted to how much food you could find. And 4 didn't have a time limit. 4 was very much like Pikmin 2. And on this map screen, we can go check out our treasure hoard, where each single treasure has its own little journal writing from Olimar here. We've recovered our first treasure. Amazingly, the Pikmin remembered how to salvage it. I can't understand their adorable language, and I don't know what they're thinking. Yet I'm so happy to see them. When I crashed on this planet, the Pikmin helped me locate my missing ship parts. In my darkest hour, the Pikmin were there for me. Now that I'm reunited with them, I know everything will be alright. It will, right? It will be under my watch. I'm not going to let a single one of these guys die. And we have the Piklopedia. I love the Piklopedia. You can interact with the enemies a little bit. If you press A, you can throw some Pikpik carrots. This is where the Pikmin got their name, because they look a lot like these carrots. And we can read Olimar's notes. He writes these notes like a biologist. They're very scientific. Dwarf Red Bulborb. Ansaris pseudooculi russus. Redbug family. Although initially identified as a juvenile red bulborb, groundbreaking new research indicates that this creature is in fact a member of the breadbug family. A close relative of the vanilla breadbug, it escapes predation through mimicry. Unique adaptation of the red bulborb's crimson coloration allows the species to safely commingle. Such effective adaptation and obfuscation by a prey species is rare, indicating this clever creature is a master of mimicry. And you also have Louie's notes. In order to unlock Louie's notes, you need to beat the game at least once, and then they'll show up permanently. Louie's notes are vastly different from Olimar's. He writes his notes on how to cook them. For a blissful bisque, mince the entire beef finely and stir in with heavy cream, artichoke hearts, and a pinch of black pepper. Heat slowly until piping hot. Mmm, rich and creamy. Yep. Yeah. If you've seen my Pikmin 4 videos, I actually uploaded an entire two entire videos of Olimar and Louie's notes on the treasures and the creatures in Pikmin 4. And only to discover that a lot of their entries in Pikmin 4 are just word for word copied from Pikmin 2. Alright, Pellet Posy. Amplus nutrio, pelletweed family. In the stem of the pellet posy, one can observe the muscle fiber unique to half-plant, half-animal species, such as the Pikmin and candy pop flowers, so the pellet posy is a species that can be considered a close relative. Although the ability to crystallize nectar is unique to a small group of the pelletweed family, the fact that these plants reach maturity so quickly, and that their pellets contain such high concentrations of the natural nutrients in the soil, explains why the Pikmin and so many of the other indigenous species are so reliant on these pellets for sustenance. On a quest for the perfect hors d'oeuvre, slow cook this plant in a wood fire oven, but be careful to only serve the tender pellet. Oh yeah, I can't guarantee I'll read all of these, because I may just forget about some of them. I'll try to remember some of the funny ones at least. Alright, let's go back to the Valley of Repose and go on day 2. Starting from here, I'm going to have to pay attention to not let a single Pikmin die. It's the only rule. Good morning, workers! Ready for another day of toiling for the profit of your company? The Pikmin seem to still be asleep inside their onion. What lazy creatures. No wonder they lack survival skills. Stand beneath the onion and press A to call them out. Let's do what the ship said. Stand on the onion, press A, and I'm going to call all my little guys out. First thing I'm going to start doing, getting their numbers up. If you throw a Pikmin directly on the pellet, it will just knock it down instantly. Let's see. That one's going to spawn in a little bit later. What I will do... oh, those don't appear yet. Okay, never mind. Thinking of something a little bit later game. Get these guys up. Alright. And I believe... yep, there's some 5 pellets here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2. Let's go back over here to where the onion was, because there should be some more pellets here. Yes. Definitely want to get as many Pikmin as I can right now, because we're going to need a lot of them. I can propagate as many Pikmin as I want. As long as I don't let a single one die, though, that's the only thing I care about in this whole playthrough. Now, I'm not going to get through the entire game in this stream. I can easily stream all of Pikmin 1 in a single live stream. In fact, I've actually done that twice. Because Pikmin 1 is really short. Pikmin 1 is a very short game. Pikmin 2, not so short. It is much longer than the first game. Not as long as Pikmin 4, mind you. Pikmin 4 was very long. Much longer than I expected it to be. Like, my goodness, it's very long. Okay. I actually replayed Pikmin 4 about a couple years ago. And, it's okay. I don't know. I definitely enjoy it more now because they finally gave you an option to disable the auto lock-on, which was my biggest problem with the game. The auto lock-on was, like, I get why they added it. It makes sense to have it as an option. But man, the fact that it was mandatory, there was no way for you to turn it off. Because it could really interfere with your aiming. They finally added an update where you can turn that off. Thank goodness. Honestly, that makes the game far more playable now. It really does. Because if you've seen my original stream of Pikmin 4, I complained a lot about the auto lock-on and how terrible it was. So thank the Lord they got rid of it. Well, not got rid of it. They made it optional, which they should have done on release. I don't know why it took them like 2 years to do it. Alright. Deflate the paper bag. Fill the dwarf red bulborb. Now we have our first real threat here, a red bulborb. I don't want to swarm this guy because that's a horrible idea, so I'm just going to throw as quick as I can. Kill him, 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 kill him. Okay, good. He did. Whew. I'll have them carry this guy back. Okay, maybe not that many. There we go. I'll have the rest of these guys work on this wall here. I want to get this torn down and get to that cave over there. Caves are where you're going to get most of your treasure from. And we actually have another treasure right here, a crushed up can. I'll go meet these guys back at base and have Louie keep an eye on the guys at the wall. Being able to split up your work between the two captains is the most efficient way to get as much stuff done. In fact, that's what you're encouraged to do. Pikmin 3 would emphasize this with having 3 captains and a Go Here feature that would let you automatically move your captains to different locations without you having to manually do it. Pikmin 4 technically has 2 captains with your playable character and Ochi, but they don't really prioritize you splitting the workload. They really don't. With the whole motto of the game being about Dandori, which is literally a fancy term for multitasking, surprisingly doesn't really focus on multitasking a whole lot. Which I was kind of surprised about. I have my issues with Pikmin 4. It's a good game. And I was very happy, and I'm very happy that it exists, because it was a 10-year waiting period between Pikmin 3 and 4. But, I don't know, I feel like it could have just done a lot better. I get that they wanted to play it safe because it's the first Pikmin game that a lot of people are being introduced to, and that's fine. I get that. It's also kind of weird that they made it like a sort of a reboot of the series, because it kind of retcons like all of the other games. It references them, but it very clearly is like its own thing. Anyway, how could Pikmin destroy such a massive wall? When masked, their might is ferocious. Louis, did Olimar instruct you on proper Pikmin commanding protocol? Apparently not. Olimar, you are failing in your duty as a superior. Allow me to explain. Yeah, press A to grab and throw, call him in a group with B, release C to disband. Yep. We've already seen all this. Yeah, he kind of repeats this for a little bit. Alright, let's get this treasure back. Obviously, the more Pikmin you have carrying an object, the faster they'll get it back to base. And in case you couldn't tell, if you've never seen Pikmin before, we are really small. Olimar is canonically like 1 inch tall. This is a manhole cover, by comparison. Pikmin does take place on Earth, or PNF 404. It's Earth, just very far into the future where humanity has long gone extinct. And a lot of modern-day creatures are gone, too. So, just find that kind of neat, I guess. And if you're wondering, what are these weird markings on the floor? I have no idea. No clue. The games have never explained what these markings are at the landing sides. And I don't think they ever will. There's scrap. Worth 170 Poco, so it's not that much of scrap. Alright, let's go. I have 70 red Pikmin with me. Let's go to our first cave. So, we will discover other Pikmin types. So, and each of them have their own abilities. I'll go ahead and explain what reds do. Oh, there's a little snowman there with a face. Adorable. I'm getting sidetracked all the time. Interesting. Warm air is welling up from the hole in the ground before you. What could lie underground? What is wrong? You both show expressions of unease. Sorry. Do not fear, the leader's group of Pikmin will join you. I shall dispatch my research pod too. Approach the hole and press A to jump in. Anyway, what was I saying? Oh yeah, red Pikmin. Red Pikmin have very high combat strength. They have a 1.5 damage multiplier compared to other Pikmin types. And they are immune to fire. Alright, the Emergence Cave. Let's go in. Sublevel 1. Intriguing. My heat sensors indicate that this hole's interior is warmer than on the surface. Analysis suggests danger lies ahead, but the promise of treasure is tantalizing. If you wish to check underground terrain, press plus to communicate with me. I am not just a ship, I am an all-purpose support pod. Alright. Well, let's check the map, shall we? Well, that's not very helpful. Yeah, you have to physically move around in order to unlock the map, which he does not tell you. We got a couple treasures here. We got a bottle cap here. We have a new enemy here. These are snowball bulbs. They are basically exactly the same as dwarf red bulb orbs, just a different color. But they behave exactly the same. Really nothing to explain differently there. Seven Up. Quenching Emblem. When was the last time I had 7 Up? It's been a long time. So, we've seen what happens when we bring treasures back. The gameplay pauses and we get a clever little title name for the treasure and see how much it's worth. What happens if we bring back an enemy corpse? If we bring it to an onion, we get more Pikmin, but what happens if we bring it back to the ship? How can you possibly consider this beast a treasure? Beasts are incompatible with my circuitry. I suppose I will store your finds in my hold, but I do not think beasts will be worth much. Yeah. Yeah, these dwarf bulb orbs are like 2 Pokos each. 2. Citrus lump. Yeah, see, 2 Pokos each per enemy corpse. But yeah, it's really not worth it to bring enemies back to the ship. You do get some money for it, but it's barely any. Hear the little song that the Pikmin are singing? Whenever they sing that, that means there's no more treasure in the room. If you hear them singing that little song, you can safely leave without having to worry about finding anything else. This hole appears to be quite deep. My sensors indicate more treacherous terrain ahead. Louie, you do recall that you can adjust the camera with Z and... Oh my goodness, yes! Your expression suggests you do. Excellent. Don't worry, all your Pikmin will follow you. Approach the hole and press A to enter it. Yeah, if you're inside the cave, even if your Pikmin are not in your active squad, they will enter the hole with you. So you don't have to worry about leaving a Pikmin behind on a sub-level unless it's planted in the ground. Final floor. Right. You can see why I like using the top-down view to aim on these guys. Makes it so much easier. It's a globe. Well, half of one. It's inconceivable that such an immense object has been buried here for so long. The design on the outer shell resembles the surface of the planet as seen from space. Perhaps this can be used for something other than salvage. But how will we ever lift it? I fear that even 100 red Pikmin will be unable to lift it. Oh yeah, can't even 100 red Pikmin? Oh yeah? What about 70? Aww. Yeah, they really pull the 101. So even if you somehow had 100 red Pikmin here, which is technically not even possible, you literally can't get it with 100 red Pikmin. They literally pull the 101 trap on you. It's kind of funny. If a Pikmin does get caught by one of these dwarf bulb orbs, don't worry too much. These dwarf bulb orbs take forever to kill a single Pikmin. Hello. Is this the best thing to see in this entire game? Why, yes it is. Astounding! A flower blooms in a cave deep beneath the snowy landscape. Clearly it is warmer down here than above. Look, the Pikmin are restless. They look as if they yearn to be tossed into the flower. Go into the flower. Alright, well I'll do that. You can throw a maximum of 5 Pikmin into these flowers. These are candy pop buds. Throw a Pikmin into the flower, and they come out. That's something else. Behold, the most powerful weapon in this entire game. Purple Pikmin. My boys. Amazing! A purple Pikmin. It has hair and is quite stocky. It seems very heavy and strong. This kind of Pikmin was not mentioned in your report, Olimar. It must be an entirely new type. Transforming Pikmin by tossing them in the flowers? Intriguing. Perhaps there are others. I was so happy that they brought purple Pikmin back to Pikmin 4, and they're still super broken. Not quite to the extent that they are in this game, but I was so happy that they brought them back. Purples are in Pikmin 3, technically, but they're not in the main game. They're only in the side modes, and they are... they got butchered in Pikmin 3. They still have their carrying strength, but they don't have their combat strength. They're strictly used for carrying. So what can purple Pikmin do? Well, for one thing, when you throw them, they land with a heavy thud. That has a chance to stun enemies, which is really helpful. And they're also quite strong. They have a very high damage multiplier. I think it's like 2? So that technically makes them stronger than reds. I could be wrong about that, but I do think purples are technically stronger than reds in this game. And reds already have a higher strength compared to other Pikmin types. And purples have the carrying strength of 10 Pikmin. So they can carry they can often carry lone objects just by themselves or with a couple purples, whereas normally you need like 20 of something else. It's pretty remarkable. It's pretty good. It's pretty darn helpful. The problem with purples is that they are slow. They are very slow. They are the slowest of all the Pikmin types, often lagging behind you. Ugh. Yeah, they're very slow. And to trade off for their strength, aside from their slow speed, they are not immune to any environmental hazard. Every elemental hazard is able to kill them. Let's see what this... Oh, they got it back first. Okay. This one's sparkling, so it's a quite valuable treasure. Spherical Atlas. There is a device resembling a microchip embedded inside this sphere, retrieving data. Error. I can only decode a portion of the data, but I did retrieve new geographic charts. I will input this data into my planetary database and name it the Sphere Chart. Press plus to contact me and go into the exploration kit on the radar screen by pressing left on the D-pad. Now that we have this new data, you should explore the decoded territory tomorrow. Okay. Yeah, if you hear that little whirring sound, that means all the treasure's done. So if we go here, exploration kit. This has all of the very valuable treasures that will increase our abilities, whether they unlock new areas or give the captains new abilities and such. Astounding! How bold that text is. Water is shouting out of... Water is shooting out of this geyser with incredible force. Sensors indicate it has enough power to launch you into the air. Approach and press A to try. Yeah, these geysers are your exit out of the caves. Let's go. Some of them were delayed. Treasures salvaged. No deaths. We're off to a good start, but that's because this is super easy right now. Trust me, this is going to get super, super hard later on. If you get that little cave complete thing, that means you found every single treasure and you don't have to return. Alright. We're back on the surface. You have successfully returned to the planet's surface. Excellent decision-making, gentlemen. We must celebrate your first successful spelunking expedition. You've gathered a large amount of data that needs in-depth analysis. I shall send a report back to the President tonight detailing your progress. Olimar and Louis, since you will explore a new area tomorrow, today's work is done. What? You still want to work? Unacceptable. You may not realize it, but you are exhausted. You should take a much-needed rest, as you have all the time you need to collect treasure. Yet this is where the game tells you you don't have a set amount of days in order to beat the game. You are encouraged to beat it quicker, as there are some consequences for taking an absurdly long time. Haste makes waste, so take it slow and steady. Alright. So, day 2 will end once you get the spherical atlas back to the ship. If you don't get that half of the globe back, day 2 will continue on as normal. Not that there's anything else to do. Seriously, there's nothing else you can do in this area until much later. We won't be coming back to the Valley of Repose for a little while. Today's report. Okay. Good. And if I press Z on this menu here, this gives us the Pikmin death report. It'll tell you how many have died and to what hazards they died to. This is going to be 0 this entire playthrough, obviously. Baby steps first, Olimar. Plan well and don't worry about me. Our debt is with Happy Hokotate Savings and Loan, after all. Besides, there's nothing left to repossess, so ha! There's nothing left to repossess. I forgot, some of these emails are like genuinely kind of funny. It's not like they can take anything else away from me. I've already lost everything. Alright, we've unlocked a new area, the Awakening Wood. Let's go check out the Piclopedia. Alright, Red Bulborb. Oculus Kageyami russus. Grubdog family. This large organism has the familiar mandibles and cranial morphology of the grubdog family, as well as the characteristic bulging eyes. As with most grubdogs, the creature's cranium comprises half of its total length and girth. Showing a scarlet abdomen with white spots, this creature is primarily nocturnal, choosing to prey upon smaller creatures returning to their nests. Originally classified as the spotty bulborb, further research has reclassified this species as the red bulborb, as the red bulborb. Subspecies of varied colors have recently been discovered, but academics are divided into 2 rival camps over how to handle their classification. Plump specimens are best spit-roasted whole, stuffed with a lime and a slab of bacon, based frequently to ensure a magnificently moist haunch. Goodness, Louis. Alright, snow bulborbs. Pensaris pseudo-oculi frosticus, redbug family. Like the dwarf red bulborb, the snow bulborb is a member of the breadbug family that seeks to survive through imitating the appearance and behavior of a bulborb. Its pale coloration and blue spots make for easy identification. In particular, this organism mimics the hairy bulborb, but it is of course unable to grow the hair that gives the hairy bulborb its name. However, as the hairy bulborb has been known to lose its hair in certain circumstances, the snow bulborb is an effective mimic that is often mistaken for a member of the same species. Louis? Best grilled and served hot over a bed of fresh spinach and crumbled blue cheese. Oh boy. Violet candy pop bud. Flora Unicius? Forgive me if I don't know how to say some of these words. Candy pop family. Research from our most recent expedition has confirmed the presence of candy pop buds in subterranean regions. Considering the microecologies this plant has been found in, one could surmise that it could be found in any cavern, regardless of geographic region. Tossing Pikmin into this flower results in the release of purple Pikmin seeds, regardless of the color of the Pikmin tossed in. This variety of candy pop contains robustly odoriferous odoriferous oils. If candy pop flowers could be cultivated, there is no doubt that the plants would offer multifaceted benefits to the cosmetic, medical, and tourist industries. Louis? This convenient purple flower secretes a dark, flavorful oil that eliminates the need for salad dressing. Lovely. Clover. Clover, Quatricus infectum. Clover family. This is a naturalized species. These plants are extremely persistent, and with the assistance of a symbiotic fungus that grows on its roots, the species is able to survive even in drought conditions. Typically, its leaves come in groupings of 3, but intense impact on the leafing stem early in the development cycle can result in an extremely rare 4-leaf cluster. I love the 4-leaf clovers. Mildly poisonous, may result in nausea, headache, fever, fatigue, chest pains, paralysis, loss of bone density, moodiness, feral rage, sauciness, dilly-dallying, strokes of brilliance, and untimely doom. Alright, so don't eat clover, everybody. Foxtail. Vulpes cauda. That literally just means foxtail. Vulpes being fox, cauda meaning tail. Foxtail family. This plant remains erect after withering and losing its color, so we can only hypothesize about the true color of the plant's plumage. However, local soil analysis indicates trace amounts of dormant seeds, making it not hard to imagine that the area was thick with these plants in the summer. Inedible, plagues victims with potent, debilitating cramps. Oh, I love Louis' notes the most. Alright. Treasure, citrus lump. This fruit was dug up from the floor of an icy cavern. It appears that the fruit's thick skin protected it from the frigid cold. It's quite remarkable. The shape of the fruit eerily resembles the president's head. P.S. The labyrinthine underground entrails of this planet are like a completely different world. Utter scrap. The area we recently touched down in is blanketed with a fresh layer of frozen precipitation. As tranquil and relaxing as it is, I named it the Valley of Repose. Using Pikmin to move obstacles, I was able to open up some new areas to exploration where I found this hunk of metal. Alright, Quenching Emblem. I often brag about my inexhaustible supply of self-control, but when I peer at this treasure, I can't help but want to take a drink. That's marketing for you. Spherical Atlas. Purple Pikmin were somehow able to carry this massive treasure. Today we measured their physical strength using the ship's onboard beefometer. It seems they have 10 times the weight and physical power of any other Pikmin. When I throw them, they land with a resounding thud. I've decided to commemorate the cave I first encountered them in by naming it the Emergence Cave. Alright, beautiful. Let's continue, shall we? Alright. Awakening Wood, let's go. One thing I really like about the Pikmin games is being able to see, like, normal environments, but from a much smaller scale. You get to see it from a whole different perspective. It's really cool. Good morning! It should please you to know the purple Pikmin are lodged safely in my hull. The comfiness of my interior seem to suit them perfectly, though they do occasionally tickle me. Stand in the ring of light below me and press A to call the purple Pikmin out. Yes, purples do not have their own onions, so they will be inside the ship. That also means the only way you can get more purple Pikmin is by finding those violet candy pop buds. There is no way to propagate them otherwise. So they are especially valuable. You do not want these guys to die. Not that that really matters in this challenge, because I'm not going to let any of them die, but on the casual playthrough, the loss of a purple Pikmin is quite detrimental. Alright. So now we have our little timer up. I didn't explain this the last day, but this lasts about 13 minutes. Once the timer goes out, that's the end of the day for you. Oh, for goodness sake, what now? Louis, has Olimar instructed you on the peculiarities of the Pikmin creatures? Pikmin form groups based on color when disbanded with C. Okay, this is good to know. Grabbing Pikmin with A will also cause them to group by color. Now for the bonus lesson. First, press A. Hold A to pick up a Pikmin. Then, while you hold A, press B to swap between different colored Pikmin. This is the first time you've heard this? Olimar, remember to properly train new employees. Yeah. Hold a Pikmin in your hand, press B, it'll switch to another color. And when you dismiss them, they do dismiss by color groups. Pretty useful. New mechanic here. Grass. Pluck at the grass a little bit. And to pop out. Come on. Come on. There we go. Nectar. Swarm the Pikmin around the nectar. They grow flowers on their heads. Pikmin that drank the yellow nectar instantly matured into flower Pikmin. It appears to have enhanced motor skills. What a wondrous nectar! How intriguing. Like plants, Pikmin mature from leaf to bud to flower. Captain Olimar, you must share the information you have with your subordinate Louie. Yeah, Olimar, you suck. Yeah, plucking at the grass here will occasionally drop out some nectar. It is completely random. Sometimes you'll get unlucky and it won't drop any. Sometimes you get super lucky and it drops out a ton of them. Come on. Nope, that's all the grass. Alright. You want to do this because flower Pikmin are fast. Much faster. Don't worry about these guys. These enemies, these creatures are female sheer grubs. They die very easily. They give you 1 Pikmin each if you take them back to the onion. Female sheer grubs are completely harmless. They are not capable of killing your Pikmin at all. We will later on encounter male sheer grubs, which are very capable of killing your Pikmin. Alright, I'm going to leave those guys in the ground for a little bit, because something else that can happen, and we might see it, is... I'm just going to raise my numbers up a bit. If you leave a Pikmin planted in the ground, they will gradually mature to flower bud and then flower stage. And here I'm going to show off the absurd power of purple Pikmin. Look at that, stunned him. He didn't even have a chance. He didn't stand a chance. I'm going to grab this strawberry up here, because it's another treasure. Yeah, purple Pikmin are completely absurd. But with the creatures you fight in this game, you're going to kind of need that. Olimar, we have a problem. The onion has ceased ejecting seeds. Is it malfunctioning? Interesting. It now seems the number of life forms within the onion has increased. Didn't you know that no more than 100 Pikmin will venture onto the planet at once? But I currently observe only 95 on the surface. Could there be wild Pikmin somewhere? Interesting observation. So I suppose I should go over these numbers after we get this strawberry back. Ah, look at this fine texture here. Sunseed berry. And we have 10% of the debt recovered. Alright. So I should go over these numbers. The leftmost number is how many Pikmin you have currently in your squad. The middle number is how many you have out in the field. And the far right is total Pikmin count. See, there's 100 Pikmin total, but I only have 95. I'll have to check my map. Oh, look at that! There's a blue onion over there. Yeah, there's some wild blue Pikmin on this area. We're not going to be able to get to them for a little while. But just because you have more than 100 Pikmin out in total, you can only have up to 100 on the field right now. I'm still going to get these numbers because, I mean, why not? Alright. That's everything I can do here for now, so let's venture on. See, even though I have maxed out on the field right now, I can still increase my total number of Pikmin. Alright. And right here... I'd rather get started on this wall first. Hello. Get this guy. Get this guy. He has a chance to drop out nectar from that egg he's carrying. That is a honey wisp. If you see them, you definitely want to destroy them as quick as you can to get their eggs, because they often contain nectar and sometimes something else valuable. Alright, I just want them to get this wall down because this is a dark colored wall and these take a little while to get knocked down. Alright. Once they get that wall down, I'll spend a little bit of time getting these berries here. These plants are called burgeoning spiderworts. And you definitely want to get these berries they carry because they are quite useful. Very, very useful. Alright, while they knock this wall down, I'm going to get a little drink here. There we go. Good job, guys. Get over here. Let's just swarm them up on here. Get some of these. Because I'm definitely going to need a bunch of these for my Deathless run to be successful. Alright. Alright, they'll carry these back to the ship. In fact, I'm just gonna... Well, I'm gonna leave one captain with the rest of them there and go back to the ship. Astounding! This red berry contains an ultra-spicy essence. It does not appear to have any monetary value, but I shall research potential uses for it. Bring me another specimen. So yeah, nothing yet. But if you bring 10 of these berries, like we have here, you'll get something quite useful. Too bad only one Pikmin can carry them at a time. That's why they're kind of slow. I love that it's just a flat texture. Captain Olimar, my research on the red berries you discovered has yielded a powerful potion. Behold, the Ultra Spicy Spray. Although it is untested, I believe it will have spectacular results. Spray it on all your Pikmin by pressing 2. When necessary, I can produce 1 bottle of spray from 10 berries. Press plus to contact me and confirm your berry count by pressing left on the D-pad. Yeah. 10 berries, we get 1 spicy spray. And then we can see it on the left of the screen there. Spicy spray will be quite useful. It basically puts your Pikmin on Super Soldier Serum. It makes them super fast and makes them incredibly strong too. Okay, it doesn't make them incredibly strong. It just makes them super fast. But that includes their attacking speed, so it makes them kind of stronger in a sense. Even though it's not literally affecting their strength, it's only affecting their speed. Still, quite useful. I'll let this get one more, and then we'll head off to areas unknown. I'm not really worried about the day being optimal. I really do need to grind a lot of these potions in order for this Deathless run to be successful, because I'm going to need a whole bunch of these. The added attack speed is going to be absolutely vital. Alright, just gotta wait for them to pop back up. Alright, did I go over Flower Pikmin? Right, so Leaf Pikmin are the slowest, Bud Pikmin are a bit faster, and Flower Pikmin are the fastest. Contrary to what a lot of people will state, Flower Pikmin are not stronger. They don't have any change in strength. It is strictly speed. It is strictly their movement speed. If I run around, for a bit, you'll notice the leaf Pikmin start to lag behind. The flower Pikmin are more easily able to keep up with you. It is possible for flower Pikmin to get reverted back to a more immature stage. They can lose their flower petals and get turned back into leaf Pikmin. Notably, if enemies will shake them off. In fact, there's a specific enemy in this game that his only purpose is to make Pikmin lose their flowers. Alright. This one should have the berries come up again. There we go. I perfectly timed that, my goodness. Get the berries, get the berries. Yeah, you don't want to leave the berries sitting around for too long. If they stay on the ground for, I think, a minute, then they'll pop. They'll pop and you lose them. Hello. Welcome to Pikmin 2 Deathless Run. I haven't had any Pikmin die yet, but I'm only on day 3, so... Alright, here's where I'll need to be more careful. We have a new enemy here. This is a cloaking Burronet. Throw some purples on its face, and it dies immediately. Seriously, purples are extremely busted, but you need that. And we got a bunch of flowers here, but if you look, you might know something a bit weird about this flower here. Mainly that it blinks. So I'm going to throw a red here. Lure him out. This is a creeping chrysanthemum. Are you serious? Aww. I had a Pikmin die. I was about to say, these guys aren't even that hard to deal with. Dang it. Well, that's unfortunate. Well, you know what that means. I gotta restart the day. I'm just gonna skip through all this because we're gonna see it again anyway. No, don't save. Don't save. Yeah. Alright. Hold on. How do I... Okay, there we go. Ah, dang it. First death or into a creeping chrysanthemum, man. That's embarrassing. Alright. Let's try this again. That's why I didn't want to save. Alright, let's do this again. And I'm just gonna beat through this. I'm not even gonna grind for as many ultra spicy sprays because I don't think I need 3 of them right off the start. That's frustrating, man. Alright, yeah, I know. Stinks. That stinks. Well, whoops. Let's try the day again. I'm not having a single one die, I'm serious. That's the whole point of this challenge. Oh goodness, I gotta go through all this tutorial stuff again. Yep. Okay, first I'm gonna go to the grass over here and get them flowered up. Maybe I'll get better RNG. That's already better. I gotta go through this again. Okay. Oh yeah, something I should mention right now before I forget. You definitely want to swarm as many Pikmin on a nectar, because one Pikmin is able to consume an entire serving of nectar by itself. Which is something that they thankfully fixed in Pikmin 3 and 4. That is no longer a possibility. Just, my goodness, that was absurd that they could do that. Come here, you. Let's build up my numbers again real quick. 1, 2, 1, 2. Oh yeah, purples can also home in on the dwarf bulb orbs. Pretty useful, although they will have a delay in actually getting off of the bulb orbs. So that's something you may have to remember. Alright. Get rid of this guy again. Okay. Alright. So far, so good. Yeah, 95 Pikmin, I know. Okay. Alright, getting the Sunseed Berry again. I think this is going to be the most dreadful part of this whole challenge. If a Pikmin dies, I have to sit through all this crap again. Oh no, I didn't even think about all that. Oh no. Well, I'm doing this to myself, so I can't really get mad. I'm more just annoyed that it was to a creeping chrysanthemum of all things. I was hoping we get to see the silly thing that can happen, is that they're able to stun themselves. If they use their attack and they miss a Pikmin, they'll actually just hit themselves and get stunned. It's really absurd. That's why I think they're kind of funny. But then I grew up and do something like that, so yeah. I'm just a bit annoyed with myself, honestly. I think I'll get a spicy spray and then just use it to kill the creeping chrysanthemum just for sweet revenge. Yeah, I'm gonna do that. I will gladly use one spicy spray to kill the creeping chrysanthemum, because despite the fact that you can easily stun them with purple Pikmin, they have a lot of health. They're kind of one of the tankier enemies in this game for some reason. It was kind of funny that they got brought back in Pikmin 4, but they look completely different in that game. They look very different. They look more like frogs. Okay. Get the berries. So I want my spicy spray. Pick him up. What the heck? Oh, whoa. Hey, what? Whoa, how'd they already grow back so fast? What? Alright, that's... Okay, I have no idea how the berries grew back so fast. Is it because of the time of day? I've never seen them grow back instantly like that before. Okay, that's amazing. Well, heck yeah, I'll take this. I love how it kind of looks 3D-ish here because of the perspective, but if you just move it, you can clearly tell it's a 2D texture. Okay, cool. I'm cool with getting 2 spicy sprays right off the bat like that. Cool. Wow. Look at that. Alright, you know, that kind of makes up for it. Alright. Poking burn it. There we go. Yeah, if you can kill it before it eats the Pikmin, you'll be able to save it, like that. Alright. Spicy spray. He's high on crack! Astounding, the heads of the Pikmin are glowing and they seem extremely agitated. The Ultra Spicy Spray appears to increase Pikmin's speed and attack power. What a discovery. Oh, it does increase their attack power. Okay, I was wrong. Yeah, it's basically Super Soldier Serum. Kill him! Ah, yes. That was cathartic. So cathartic. Alright. Alright. Bird's biological sensors are reacting violently. Readings are ominous. Beast of unknown power lurks in these depths. A large Pikmin group would be reassuring. My sound sensors are picking up hostile roars of many beasts. Expect dangerous encounters. Sensors are also showing extreme heat pockets. You may need flame-resistant Pikmin. But my records indicate no such data. My record's incomplete. Yeah, I think they are. Alright, Hole of Beasts. And as you can see, we have fire hazards here. That's not a problem, though, because we have red Pikmin, and they are resistant to fire. That little wah at the end there. That's because the spicy spray wore off, but it's timed so perfectly. Alright, welcome to the Hole of Beasts. First cave with with actual dangers that I need to be concerned with. Okay, female sheargrubs, no big deal. Again, these guys are completely harmless. But we should see... There they are. These purple guys. These are male sheargrubs. They are capable of killing your Pikmin. Make it a priority to kill male sheargrubs. Male sheargrubs suck. And I kid you not, one of the reasons I decided not to do the Deathless run on Pikmin 1, aside from it being jank and for some of the reasons I've already explained at the beginning of this stream, one of my main reasons is actually male sheargrubs. I'm not even kidding. There is a weird thing in Pikmin 1 where if a male sheargrub grabs a Pikmin, it becomes completely invulnerable until the Pikmin dies. Yeah. Seriously. If a male sheargrub grabs a Pikmin in the first game, it is guaranteed to die. There is no saving it. Thankfully, that is not a thing in this game. Stone of Glory. Is there a Gulix? You mean like the Gulix? I think you mean Gulix. Not in this game, no. Not in this game, not in Pikmin 2. Or you might be talking about the Fulix from Pikmin 4. Nah, they're not in this game. There are things far worse. Alright, we got these eggs here. They'll usually drop out nectar, but occasionally they'll drop some other things. So just be wary. Okay, the Pikmin are already singing their little song, so that means there's no treasure on this floor. There are occasionally some rest floors where there's no treasures, and there's usually no enemies either. So we have some violet candy pot buds. I'll gladly get some more purples. And like I said before, purple Pikmin do not have their own onion in this game. So these candy pop buds are the only way you can get more of them. Okay, I'm gonna go back to that nectar and get these guys flowered up. Yeah, look, even the flower purple Pikmin are lagging behind a good bit. That's how slow they are. Look how slow the leaf ones are. They're so slow. I didn't get all of them, but I at least got most of them. I need these guys to be as fast as possible. That's the trade-off you get for being absurdly powerful, I guess. They're just super slow. Alright, what we got here? Fire geysers. Thankfully, you can destroy fire geysers in this game. Honestly, fire is not even really that dangerous of a hazard in this game, because for Pikmin don't die immediately from fire. Obviously, the red ones don't at all. But if a Pikmin catches on fire, all you have to do is just whistle it, and it'll be saved. Actually, in fact, this entire floor you can just do with red Pikmin. Don't even have to waste your time on the fire geysers. Now, the fire can obviously kill the purple Pikmin, but it can also hurt your captains. The captains are not immune to fire right now. In fact, they're not immune to any elemental hazard, aside from water, because they're in spacesuits. But yeah, you can also just damage the fire geysers and get rid of them. Fire's really not that big a deal, honestly. The one elemental hazard that I would say is easily the worst to deal with in this game is electricity, which we will encounter later, but electricity is instant death. Strife Monolith. Yeah, if you've only played Pikmin 3 and 4, electricity is not that big a deal. In Pikmin 3, it just stuns Pikmin. It can't even kill them at all. In Pikmin 4, it can kill Pikmin, but it's been reduced to every other elemental hazard. It'll stun them first, but if they stay electrified, then they will die. You just have to whistle them before that. Cosmic Archive is some kind of Nintendo floppy disk. I love that a lot of these are... A lot of objects in this game tie back to Nintendo's history, which is pretty cool. We'll see that later on. I don't think there's anything else in here. Oh no, there's a little song. Yeah, we're done here. Okay. So yeah, Pikmin 4, electricity can kill Pikmin, but if you whistle them first, then they're fine. In Pikmin 2, this game, electricity, nah, if a Pikmin touches it, dead immediately. There's not even a grace period. They just die as soon as they touch it. So yeah, electricity sucks. It's easily the worst thing in this game. Okay, nectar. I'll take this. Perfect. Okay. More nectar. Okay. I do like to check the eggs as much as possible if I can. Hopefully we'll get to see some of the other drops they have. Ah, got a red Bulborb. He's not... Ideally, you don't want to attack a Bulborb from the front. You always want to attack one from behind if you can. So what I like to do is go over here, wake him up, and then run out of his range, which thankfully is not very far. Go turn around. Alright, he'll get stuck. Lovely. Let's see if I can... Ow. I mean, you could just do this. If you don't have a Pikmin with you, the captains will just punch. Honestly, the punch is pretty good in this game. Unlike in Pikmin 3 and 4, where it's completely useless. In this game, in Pikmin 1, the punch is actually pretty good. You can reliably kill enemies with it. It's kind of crazy. Is he actually just stuck? Okay, what I was hoping to show is that he would go back to his little hidey hole and fall asleep, but he's not gonna do that, is he? I know it, we ball. Alright, we got him anyway, cool. I at least was still able to attack him from behind. You really want to attack Bulborbs from behind, seriously. If you attack them from the front, it's very risky. For red Bulborbs, not that big a deal, but there are other Bulborb species that we will see. Two of which are... Actually, three of which are really horrible to fight. Dream Architect, that's an old Game & Watch machine. An Ace of Spades. Luck Wafer. If you notice the brand here, that's a Nintendo brand playing card. That kind of goes into Nintendo's history. They weren't always a video game company. I mean, what a shock. Nintendo's been around for over 150 years. They are a very old company. Long before they made video games, they made, I believe they made various different types of toys and playing cards. Yeah, they were a playing card company at one point. Pretty neat. I think a lot of people don't realize just how long Nintendo's been around. I believe this is the final sub-level of this cave. Indeed. I can't help but notice a big old squashed bug here. Fossilized into the dirt. I don't know what could have squashed it. Oh my goodness! Ugh. Ugh, look at you. Yeah, it's a giant Bulborb. Looks a lot like a termite queen. Wake up. Oh, you're actually not waking up. I'm surprised. Alright. Anyway, yeah, this is the boss of this dungeon. This is Empress Bulblax. She is a giant, very pregnant Bulborb. Fortunately, she's also really easy to kill. Oh, she didn't do her thing. Okay. When she starts shaking like that, whistle your Pikmin off. Get them all by her side. Because then she'll start rolling around. And if there's a Pikmin underneath her, when she rolls on them, they die. They get crushed. She's easily capable of wiping out an entire squad if you're careless. Oh, okay. Yeah, that flailing that she does is very likely to knock Pikmin behind her, actually, and get them in her rolling path. So you really want to whistle before she shakes them off. Easy way, honestly, just get some reds or purples and just go under her lip here and just spam. That way you can get a lot of damage off. She's actually being quite forgiving here. I'm kind of surprised. I do like that the music ramps up as she's rolling around. I miss the Pikmin 2 boss music, man. They don't really use it much anymore. Alright, she's gonna roll one more time. Right now, Empress Bulblax is pretty easy. I mean, it's the first boss fight of the game. You kind of expect it to be easy. We will see her again. Spoilers. But the next few times we see her... Ugh. Oh, gosh. Ugh. That death animation's horrific. The next few times we see her, though, she will not be so forgiving. How bizarre. This device is emitting black light. It must have been ingested by that creature. What an absolutely repulsive life form. Our return to Hokotate cannot come soon enough. Yep. Dropped some kind of weird love tester device. Has anyone ever actually tried those things before? Those love machines? Where like two people grab the handles and they see like what their compatibility is? What is the science behind those, if there even is a science, or if it's just like you put money in, it just gives you a random thing? Yeah, it's some kind of weird electronic love tester. Prototype detector. This contraption seems to react when it approaches treasure. I will connect it to my radar. Processing complete. The treasure gauge is now fully operational. It will now appear on your monitor. The needle will move right as you approach treasure. Yeah. And it'll appear in the bottom right in the screen. And when it grays out, you've got all the treasure. Not only will the needle move towards the right the closer you get to a treasure, it will also make a very loud and obvious beeping noise. That is very persistent and annoying. Anyway, we got the cave complete. No Pikmin died. Perfect. I'm not as concerned if a Pikmin dies in a cave, because I won't have to restart the entire day if I'm out on the surface. I just have to restart the sub-level because it saves after every sub-level. 20% of debt recovered. Heck yeah, man. Well, that's not all we can do. There's still more area to explore here. We've still got plenty of time left in the day. The birching... Oh, hello. Yeah, I do want more. I do want more sprays. Let's see. Yeah, see? There's a treasure up there. I can't get that one yet, so I'll have to come back later. But I can weigh this down, because this requires 200. Obviously, we can't have 200 Pikmin out in the field, so we need at least 20 purples. There we go. Another cloaking burr in it here. And he's dead. And look at that! Another cave right here. Astounding! My metal detectors are reacting violently. What could be down below? If you find trouble below, press plus to contact me and press right on the radar screen. The exploration pod will drop its loot to make room to carry you, Louie, and the Pikmin to safety. Alright. It's a new cave, White Flower Garden. We have fire and another elemental hazard, poison. But we don't have any Pikmin that are able to resist poison, so I wonder what we'll find. Maybe something that can help us? Oh yeah, something I didn't mention is that time does not pass out on the surface when you're in the cave. Whatever time it was outside when you enter the cave, it will be exactly the same when you exit. Don't ask me how that works, because I could not help you at all. There's no scientific reasoning for why that works. It just do. They did sort of bring this mechanic back in Pikmin 4 with its caves, but instead of time not passing at all, it just passes much slower. So there will still be some time that passes in the Pikmin 4 caves. But good. Didn't have any of them die. Very good. Yeah. There's the treasure. Get this back. Kiwi brand shoe polish. Does anyone still use shoe polish? I'm sure some people do for like fancy dress shoes, but I don't think I can remember anyone ever. I don't think I can remember a single person I know. Correction. I don't know anyone around my age that even knows what shoe shining is. Well, they know what it is, but they don't do it. Yeah, Kiwi brand shoe polish. Alien billboard. Okay. These sublevels where it's just the metal floors with the abyss over the edges. I hate these sublevels because you can very easily accidentally throw a Pikmin off into the abyss. And it's also very easy for enemies to knock them off into the abyss. So be very careful. Alright. We have some new enemies here. I believe these are fiery blowhogs. I'll get to them in just a second. Oh, look at that. It's a heart. It's a petrified heart. Fiery blowhogs. They spit out fire. They're pretty easy to deal with, honestly. They're not that big of a threat. Honestly, the fact that they... Well, honestly, I do hate them on these sublevels in particular because of one thing. If they get Pikmin on them... Well, we didn't see it because the purples stun-locked him. But they are able to buck and knock your Pikmin off a considerable distance. So they're very likely to pick your Pikmin off into the abyss. So be very careful of that. Honestly, they're not really too tough to deal with in this game. In Pikmin 1, however, my goodness, they were tanks. Fiery Bullhogs in Pikmin 1 were so much harder to deal with. In fact, a lot of enemies were. A lot of enemies just had a ton of health in the first game. Dr. Pepper. Drought Ender. I've never seen a Dr. Pepper label that looks like this. I'm assuming it's just a really old one. Alright. Now this sublevel should have what we're looking for, something very valuable. In fact, here they are. These are ivory candy pop buds. How can a flower so deep underground bloom so robustly? How mysterious. This place is conspicuously warm. Did it act as a kind of hothouse for foliage? What an interesting development. The Pikmin look as if they long to be tossed into the flower. Must go to the flower. Well, if the violet candy pop buds gave us purple, what do you think the ivory or white ones will give us? Obviously, they're going to give us blue. Oh, no, they're white. Look at these little guys. These are white Pikmin. Incredible! A white Pikmin. It is tiny but looks distinctly swift. Its eyes are an unseemly red. This type of Pikmin was not mentioned in your notes, Olimar. It must be an entirely new type. My data record on this type is a blank page, since a certain captain never documented them. Love how passive-aggressive the ship can be. You must experiment and make detailed observations for the benefit of future generations. Love how passive-aggressive he is there, because, well, white Pikmin were not in the first game. We get a good 15 of them here, which is really nice. Alright. So like the ship said, white Pikmin are very fast. Even their leaf forms are easily able to keep up with the captains right now. So flower white Pikmin, they are absurdly fast. Okay, well, not easily keep up, but they're very fast. They can keep up with the red flowers, apparently. They are also resistant to poison, so that's another use. But something else with them, my treasure gauge is reacting. If we walk over here, they can dig up hidden buried treasures. Amazing! White Pikmin have unearthed a treasure that was completely buried in the ground. Perhaps those beady red eyes of theirs allows them to sense objects buried in the dirt. Yeah, those red eyes aren't just for looks. They're able to find hidden objects. You'll know where they are because of the treasure gauge, of course, but only whites are able to dig them out of the ground like that. That is exclusive to them. If you've played Pikmin 4, they did return hidden buried treasures like that. Oh man. Oh, come on. Come here. There we go, I got some more nectar. I do want that. I'm gonna get these guys to speed up a little bit. Even in their leaf stage, they can still carry stuff back remarkably fast. And that's honestly their biggest use, really. The fact that they can carry things really fast. And everything else. Everything else about white Pikmin is just super useful. They're really good to have. Gamma tape, gamma tape, gamma tape, gamma tape, gamma tape. Super stick textile. Now, just like the purple Pikmin, white Pikmin do not have an onion of their own, so the only way to propagate them is by finding more ivory candy pop buds. So they are quite valuable. And losing them can be pretty bad. Not quite to the same extent as purple Pikmin, in my opinion. But still pretty bad. Now, I'm gonna clarify something here. I've heard some people say that white Pikmin are weaker than other types because they're smaller. That is not true. They have the same attack strength as the standard Pikmin default. They are weaker than reds and purples, but that's only because reds and purples have an attack multiplier. They have the standard default attack strength. The only Pikmin to this date that has a weaker attack are winged Pikmin, but those are not even in this game, so that I don't really know why I'm clarifying this. Alright, now we have these new hazards here. Poison spewers. Throw white Pikmin. And they'll destroy them. Allowing your other guys to easily pass through. There we go. And we have a container of chapstick up there. We'll gladly get that. No, I'm serious. It's literally just chapstick brand chapstick. Oh yeah, something else about the purples, because I forgot about this. Purples cannot be thrown as far as other Pikmin types. You cannot throw them as far or as high as a... It's height. You can't throw them as high. They're heavier. You can throw them the same, like, horizontal distance, just not the same height. Yeah, it's literally just chapstick. Survival ointment. I think a lot of people, including myself, forget that chapstick is a brand. Technically, the product is lip balm. Because there's several brands of lip balm. Chapstick is just probably the most well-known brand. In fact, it's so popular, people just call it chapstick. Kind of like how a lot of people call, like, tissues for your nose, they'll call them Kleenex. Even though Kleenex is a specific brand of tissue. Tissue is the general product. But yeah, I'm not blaming anyone for that, because I also just call it chapstick quite a bit. And that's specifically to that brand. Oh, come on, guys, you can get that. What are you doing? Okay, there they go. Pikmin AI. It works fine most of the time, but just every so often they'll just do some very questionable things. Alright, there we go. Get this very freaky looking mushroom back. Toxic toadstool. Not very valuable, only worth 30 Pokos, but we'll take any treasure we can get. Gotta repay that debt. I should know a thing or two about that. I got a ton of student loan debts. Oh boy. And I got a new car recently. It's very nice. Unfortunately, it does add to my overall debt, but Lord knows I needed a new car. It's pretty nice. So, I know a thing or two about paying off debt. Unfortunately. Alright, we've reached the end. We've reached the end of the dungeon here. And I'm going to be very careful because I know what the boss is here. Let's see. Yeah, let's bring the purple boys because they should annihilate this guy. Should show up here. There he is. The burrowing snagret. A weird bird snake creature. The head of a bird, but the body of a snake. Honestly, easiest way to deal with this guy is when he pops his head out of the ground like that, he has a chance to get stuck. And I usually just wait for him to get stuck, and then I'll just throw a bunch of Pikmin on his head, like this. Because when he gets stuck like that, you can do a ton of damage. And very often I can get a one cycle on him. Oh, there we go. Perfect. Flawless victory. You dropped a cool-looking glove. Well done, Captain Olimar. You've defeated that freakish half-bird, half-serpent hybrid. Oh no, don't tell me. That treasure was ingested by that beast, wasn't it? Yeah, it sure was, and guess who has to carry it back? You do, pal! I'll have these guys carry it back since they're faster than the purples. Alright, let's see what's in the eggs here. I like to throw purples because they can immediately destroy the eggs, just making it quicker. Alright. Wait for them to get that treasure back. There it is. God, I don't like that it moved. The 5-man knapsack. This material looks comfortable. I will use it to patch the boss's favorite sleeping bag. Seam test conclusive. Cross-stitching successful. The knapsack is complete. When you have an unoccupied time interval, press and hold C to take a nap. Yeah, that's what this lets you do. It may seem a bit silly, but this does actually have a little purpose. If you press and hold C, near some Pikmin, they'll pick you up and carry you. It will take you back to the base. On the surface, they'll take you back to the ship. Here, they'll take you back, well, to where the ship is. They take you back to base camp. This may not seem that useful right now, but this is honestly a very quick way to automatically get back to base when you need to multitask. Yeah. It can be pretty useful at times. I don't use it that much personally, but that's what it does. And, I might as well explain another mechanic that white Pikmin have that makes them really cool. We won't really see it here because this is a Deathless challenge, so I don't intend to use this mechanic. But white Pikmin are poisonous. They are not only immune to poison, but they are poisonous themselves. If a creature eats a white Pikmin, and specifically eats one, not crushes or burns it or whatever, if they eat a white Pikmin, that enemy will get poisoned and have a significant amount of damage actually dealt to them. So yeah, sometimes if enemies eat enough white Pikmin, it may kill them. This is a Deathless run, so I don't intend to use that mechanic, but figured I might as well mention it anyway. Alright. Lots of good stuff. to get me. Alright. Well, still have a good bit to do in the day. There's not any other caves that I'm able to access right now, but I can at least pave the way for them in the future. So what I like to do for the rest of this day here is, let's see, I'll split these guys up. I need to get the white Pikmin. I need to grab them. I'll take these guys over here because there is a poison gate that I need to tear down. Yeah, every so often there'll be a gate here. Oh, there's a creeping chrysanthemum on the other side. Thankfully, you are out of his attack range, so he won't bother you. But there will be some gates here with poison spewers. If you want to destroy the poison spewers, you gotta get rid of the gate first. Yeah. In the meantime, I'll have these guys get the ultra spicy berries. And have these guys work on the wall. Because if you look, there's another half of the globe there. Like the first half, if we get that, we'll unlock a new area. It's very crucial that we get that. Because there's nothing else, well, to do in this area right now. So, yeah, I'll just be kind of grinding out for this. So, while I wait for these berries to grow, I'm gonna go get me some water. 'Cause I am thirsty. Oh, that's good water. I've been talking for like almost 2 hours straight now. Goodness. Alright, how are they doing on this wall? Oh, they've almost got it. That's good. There's usually a little, chime that plays when a task is done. It's like doo-doo-doo. Could hear it any second now. There we go. There it is. Alright. Okay, good. They got rid of the poison spewers. We'll get these berries here. Now bring all hands on deck to where Olimar is, so we can get the that globe treasure, because I need that to unlock the next area. There we go. Another spicy spray. Alright, let's go. Oh yeah, the darker colored walls, they go down a lot slower. They have a lot more health than the lighter colored walls. That's why even these 15 were able to get it down relatively fast. Alright, we have another creeping chrysanthemum here. There we go. Spam as many purples as possible to get him stun locked, and he's dead. Good. And let's get this bridge out. Definitely want to get this bridge because, well, this leads directly back to base. It's much faster than going the long way around. Pikmin will usually take the most direct, shortest path back to base. There we go. Bridge is unfurled. Let's get this thing back. Fascinating. This object is highly similar to the one you found in the Valley of Repose. By examining this further, I may be able to extrapolate new planetary data. Alright. Get it. All hands on deck. Carry it back. I might as well give us a little sneak peek at what's to come. Ah, you. You. Wallywogs. I hate these guys. I hate these guys so much. Excuse me. Alright. But because of the water here, we're not able to make any more progress. Because wouldn't you know it, we don't have any Pikmin types that are immune to water. Oh, look at these guys. These are yellow spectralids. Oh, and there's our little warning that we're almost out of time. Olimar, Louie, the sun will be setting soon. Call all of the Pikmin to you. This planet's native nocturnal lifeforms are ferocious and therefore dangerous. Load your Pikmin into the onion and yourselves into my hull so we can take refuge in low orbit. Pikmin in your squad will enter the onion on their own at day's end, so call them all to you. Alright. Perfect. Worth a whopping 200 Pokos. Geographic projection. That's the bottom half of the other globe. This hemisphere also contains a hidden microchip. I will attempt to decrypt the stored data. Decoding complete. As I surmise, this chip contains additional topographic data. The data has been inputted into my database. I shall name it the Survey Chart. And with that, we have 30% of the debt recovered already. Alright. So yeah, Pikmin that are in your squad, they will be safe. You want them to be with either a captain or in the base camp, which is the general area that covers the ship and the 3 onions. So about out to here, and it's kind of like a circle. Pikmin 3 and 4 are like defined by actually having a circle appear around the defined base that's safe. So if they're close to the onions or in your squad, they'll be safe. If they're outside of that area and this timer runs out, they get left behind. And they die. Not only that, you actually get to see them die in the little cutscene at the end of the day. I just wanted to show if you kill a yellow spectralids, they drop nectar. They also give you 1 Pikmin each, so not really worth it, but they do give you the nectar, which is pretty worth it. Yeah, if a Pikmin gets left behind at sunset, they actually force you to watch them die at that end of cutscene. It's quite horrific. Heck yeah, 0 deaths. Olimar, good work so far. I hereby promote you to Perennial Manager. Press C to divide up work and minus to delegate more to your subordinate leader. Hope all goes smoothly. I love that term, Perennial Manager. Perennial is a plant term. In case you don't know, perennials refer to plants that can live for more than 1 year. They're able to come back and grow back and bloom multiple years. Whereas annuals can only grow once a year. Alright. So perennials, kind of funny because Pikmin are plant creatures. Anyway, Fiery Blowhog. Sus Draconis. Oh gosh, they're sus. Make all the memes you want about that, but sus is, I think, actually the genus name for pigs. I'm not even joking. Blowhog family. This creature expels a volatile phosphorus compound from its snout that combusts upon contact with air. This fire-breathing ability is dependent upon the air-to-fuel ratio at its mouth, catalyst reaction within the expelled compound, and purification of the compound. Thus, it is highly unlikely such a complex process could cause the spontaneous explosion of a fallen blowhog. This process is also perhaps to avoid risk of spontaneous combustion in the belly of a live specimen. However, one should still treat a fiery blowhog with great care, even after its life functions have ceased. Louis, how would you eat this beast? Roast this flavorful beast for several hours, letting it stew in its own succulent juices. Don't worry about overcooking this beast, it's scorch-proof. Love it. Female shear grub. Oh jeez. Himagia mandibulosa, mandibular family. The males of this species are purple and black creatures with tapered mouths, while the females are lighter in color and lack an armored exoskeleton. As with most mandiblards, these creatures have regressed to the point where they have lost both legs and wings. They can be seen crawling around on the ground and are believed to feed on the vegetable extracts from the congealed fluids of expired Pikmin. Ugh. For an unforgettable quiche, slice this creature up and mix with 4 eggs, 2 vine-ripened tomatoes, diced zucchini, and generous handfuls of feta and Swiss. Bake until crusty and golden. This beast is most flavorful if caught and cooked just after laying its eggs. How does he know this? I don't want to know how he knows this. And male shear grubs. Same species, mandibular family. This specimen is a male shear grub. Having lost both legs and wings, the male burrows into the soil and waits to ambush small creatures that pass by. This beast's mandibles can be dangerous, making creatures such as Pikmin easy prey. Spread several specimens in the bottom of a casserole dish and layer with sliced avocado. Bake until the meat is choice and the cheese is lusciously browned. I have to admit, he is creative. Cloaking burrownet. Let me get him out. There he is. Cloaking burrownet. Trilobitans reclusiva. Or reclusiva. Burrownet family. He's kind of stuck. Alright. The snake eye pattern on this beast's shell is one of the most distinctive features of the burrownet family. The red pattern of the cloaking burrownet and the spikes around its mantle make it easily identifiable while still making it a representative specimen of the burrownet family. The shell on the cloaking burrownet's back also provides a frame that fixes its muscular structure in place, and appears to give the creature its powerful needle-launching attack. Boil in the shell with a pinch of salt until bright red and serve piping hot with tartar sauce. Is he basically cooking this like a lobster? I mean, lobsters are basically bugs of the sea. Ivory candy pop bud, Flora niveus, candy pop family. Research from our most recent expedition has confirmed the presence of candy pop buds in subterranean regions. Considering the microecologies this plant has been found in, one could surmise that it could be found in any cavern regardless of geographic regions. Tossing Pikmin into this flower always produces white Pikmin seeds regardless of the color of Pikmin tossed in. In many cases, plants with small leaves typically have limited photosynthetic capabilities, and thus must find alternate means of obtaining nutrients, with parasitic and predatory behavior being most common. The candy pop could be considered one such example. This elusive flower spoils within seconds of picking, making it unsuitable for cooking. And that's not funny. Creeping chrysanthemum, get on out of here. There it is. Creeping chrysanthemum, Parazacum rovinia, chrysanthemum family. Like Pikmin, the creeping chrysanthemum is a member of a group of creatures with ambulatory root structures. This creature is known as a mimic, but because it is actually a form of plant, this label is not entirely accurate. For unknown reasons, the creeping chrysanthemum's mimicry does not fool Pikmin, perhaps because they share a similar heritage. It relies on preying upon other creatures to provide sustenance, so it has no need of leaves for photosynthesis. Generally speaking, the role of plants within an ecosystem is as a producer species, and thus plants are generally found at the bottom of the food pyramid. However, on this strange planet, the line between producer plants and consumer plants is blurred. Kind of freaky, huh? I guess it's kind of the same thing with real-life carnivorous plants. When thinly sliced, this predator's sizable bulb makes a sumptuous pizza topping. Alright, unmarked spectralids. Phenastari prismatis, flitterby family. When strolling through the forests of this planet, clouds of these creatures are seen dancing overhead. Like flower petals drifting in the breeze, the sight of flitterbys dancing in the lush green undergrowth is unforgettable. Flitterby collectors drool over specimen sample boxes lined up in order, highlighting the slight color gradation changes from blue to red to yellow. Such items fetch particularly high prices at auction. I think he's just kind of making fun of real-life butterfly collectors, which I don't know if that's really still a thing to this day. I'm sure it is at some point, but you gotta remember this game came out in 2004. Spectralids don't provide a lot of meat, but the exquisitely elegant wings are surprisingly tasty, particularly when expertly prepared with a sweet candied glaze. Honeywisp. Nectara fatus. Honeywisp family. This floating life form drifts effortlessly on the winds. Upon death, its physical structure instantly collapses, and as the creature is particularly elusive and difficult to catch, no sample specimens have been acquired as of yet. If we could simply recover a live sample, research on this species would likely proceed more smoothly. Although the eggs are small, the yolk has a distinctively bold and tangy flavor. Try tossing a few in a pan along with your choice of meat and fresh vegetables and cook up a country scramble. Alright, common glowcap. Fungi luminarium, glowcap family. The light emitted from this rare mushroom is neither a reflection nor a release of stored light. It grows not only on decomposing trees, but also on soil and rocks. This mushroom's fungal filaments are capable of stabilizing and concentrating pure Hocotatium 111. It is none other than the Hocotatium 111 approaching the point of critical mass that causes the glowcap's blue luminescence. Rapturous, fresh, or sautéed, this illuminating fungus will be hot in the galaxy's trendiest restaurants. I don't know if I want to eat food that glows. Alright, figwort. Oh. Scrofularia xenomium. Figwort family. This plant offers an excellent example of a non-native species introduced into the ecosystem by some unknown method. Upon introduction, it quickly established a foothold and adapted to the new habitat. This plant's distinct flowers, usually exhibiting a stunning blue color in early spring, but recent fieldwork has recorded specimens displaying a deep red hue. Although this may represent a sudden deviation in genetics of the species, the red coloration is much more likely an anomaly. Additional readings suggest no significant atmospheric or solar radiation changes have occurred in the ecosystem, leaving open the possibility that soil composition and mineral deposits may have affected petal coloration. I mean, there are real-life flowers that will change their color depending on what the soil is. I think, what is the one I'm thinking of? Hydrangeas? I think they go from like red and blue coloration depending on the pH of the soil. This titillating ingredient tastes impossibly fresh, but you must cook it immediately after picking. If you don't, it'll go bad within minutes. Horsetail. Equestrius vindico. Horsetail family. This variety of horsetail is prevalent in regions with low nutrient content in the soil. Unlike most other plants, this particular species propagates itself through the release of spores. Remove and discard the primitive scaly leaves, then blanch the tender stalk in a buttery broth. Well, those are kind of boring. Margaret. Luminosus croceus, chrysanthemum family. This plant's delicate yellow flowers often inspire waves of nostalgia, giving a bittersweet feeling to any who gaze upon them. Can be eaten fresh out of the soil, but it's much more flavorful when incorporated into a heavenly veggie lasagna. Alright, and fiddlehead. Violine orchestris, fern family. At first glance, this plant resembles the spring used in the ship's sublight engine. Many of its most primitive characteristics remain intact, including its habit of spreading through the dispersal of spores. Sun-dry the leaves for several days, then grind them with a mortar and pestle. This resulting herb grants an aromatic, earthy flavor to mutton and poultry dishes. Alright, finally the bosses. These should be interesting. Empress Bulblax. Oculus Matriarcha. Grubdog family. Initial observations place doubt on the capability of the Grubdog family to support a strong ant or bee-like social structure, but recent studies show the family is capable of such complexity. The egg sac of the largest female grub dog within a given range swells to dramatic proportions in response to environmental changes, such as the sudden depletion of prey species. These females temporarily take on the role of pack matriarch. Also, in pack formation, it has been observed that nearly all males not involved in species reproduction undergo natural sex changes. The characteristics of such specimens are quite intriguing indeed. Yeah, I just read that out loud. But biology is weird. For a sophisticated delicacy, make a... oh, jeez. Pâté de foie gras from this massively obese creature's liver and spread it over a sesame cracker. Ugh. Burrowing snagret. Gyropedes anacondae. Avian family. The majority of snagret species lie in wait to ambush and capture prey, with a body type perfectly adapted to such sudden strikes. It violently attacks small, surface-dwelling insects. Distributed across a relatively wide range, subspecies of snagret suited to the varying soil conditions have emerged, making the snagret the most geographically represented species besides the bulborb. Visually resembling the burrowing snagret is the burrowing snarrow, the range of which partially overlaps with the snagret's range. While the two may appear similar, when pulled from the ground they can be distinguished by the presence or absence of tail and wing markings. Funny enough, there's actually a Pikmin 2 ROM hack called Pikmin 251, really good one, I've played it, that actually introduces the burrowing snarrow. It's not really that... it's kind of underwhelming. It's just a reskin of the burrowing snagret. It behaves almost the same. They actually made it harder. It's kind of a neat note there. Alright, Louis' notes. Slice the serpentine torso into thin medallions, skewer on a metal rod with hokitate onions, and barbecue over an open flame. Okay, so he's just making kebabs. Now I want a kebab. I should also mention that I'm just hungry right now. It's like dinner time for me. And I had lunch like several hours ago, so I'm actually getting really hungry. Man, I've been going on for like 2 hours now. Do I really want to do another day? My throat's getting a little tired right now because I've been talking like non-stop. Starting to strain my voice. You know, I think I'll call it for today. It's been fun so far. I only had to do one reset. So far. It's definitely going to get worse. I can guarantee you that. Oh, before I go, I don't want to read all these treasures because there's so many of them. I do like the Piclopedia entries a lot more than the Treasure Hoard entries. What a strange pattern. When I look at it, I can feel good fortune smiling down on me. If I could just buy a lottery ticket right now, I'm sure I'd win. I'll at least read some of the boss ones. Let's see. This is the special one, the geographic projection. The interior of this hemisphere contains a chip coated with charts detailing a new region. I explored this forest the last time I was here, but it's clear that it has undergone some dramatic changes. The planets and animals have also evolved significantly. I've given the forest a new name, the Awakening Wood. I must begin to form a hypothesis to explain why the forest changed so rapidly. Okay, I'm glad I picked that one. That's actually a very important one lore-wise. 3 of the 4 areas you explore in Pikmin 2 are exactly the same areas from Pikmin 1. The Awakening Wood, Olimar mentions that he explored this forest before. This is the same place as the Forest of Hope from the first game. It is the exact same place, actually. If you look at the map and compare the layouts, it's identical. In fact, the areas where we were getting the spicy sprays from, that's actually the landing site where the chip and the onions landed in the first game. Pretty neat, huh? But yeah, it is intriguing how it changed so much in such a very short amount of time. Obviously, because it's a video game, but in the game world, it's freaky how it changed that much. But yeah, 3 of the areas that we see are areas from the first game, just repurposed and kind of remixed. Not even remixed. In fact, the perplexing pool, it's the distant spring from the first game with... It's probably the least changed, like, layout-wise. It's almost like completely identical. The only one that's a completely new area is the Valley of Repose. It's not based off of anything from Pikmin 1 at all. Oh yeah, glad I picked that one. Alright, prototype detector. Today we searched a subterranean lair swarming with carnivorous bugs. The name Hole of Beast immediately came to mind. The convenient contraption I found there has become an invaluable treasure-seeking tool. When it approaches a piece of treasure, the gadget beeps and the needle moves to the right. When all the treasure in an area has been collected, the device powers down. When we left Hokotate, I thought we'd never be able to pay off the company's debts. But thanks to this gadget, I'm feeling optimistic about the outcome of this daring mission. Screw it, I'll read all these, because why not? And then I'll end the stream, because my throat is actually starting to get a bit strained. 5-man knapsack. I love to lay down in the grass, bask in the sun, and take an afternoon nap, but with all of these Pikmin following me, I can never seem to relax. You should remember to press C to dismiss the Pikmin, and then press and hold C to take a nap. The last time I tried it, the Pikmin picked me up while I slept and carried me away to their onion. Hold your space horses, Pikmin. I'm not a pellet or a piece of treasure. Then I woke up. Great galaxies. It was all just a dream, wasn't it? Yeah, sure, pal. Alright, Sunseed Berry. I found this fascinating fruit while out exploring today. The skies cleared up, and I felt peaceful watching the pink flower petals flutter in the wind. During this perilous expedition, it seems strange to have such soft-hearted romantic thoughts. If I told my wife about this, I'm sure I'd get laughed at. Again. Toxic Toadstool. This dubious morsel doesn't look like it would be very agreeable with my innards. Whoop, no, pressing the wrong buttons. It wouldn't be very agreeable with my innards. However, I bet Louis would try it by. His appetite is insatiable, and he's always cooking up tasty meals. I'm glad that on this expedition, our ship's reactor can power our life support systems indefinitely. This will give us all the time we need to thoroughly examine all the treasure we recover. I don't care if the president wants us to hurry. I've had enough of his hassling. I think I'll move more slowly just to cause him indigestion. Alright, you know what? Some of these are pretty funny. I like it. Super Stick Textile. I have once again discovered a completely undocumented species of Pikmin. These white Pikmin can find and dig up items that are buried entirely underground. We never would have found this priceless treasure without them. Thankfully, it's the perfect stuff to patch a hole I just noticed on the ship's hull. Yet, I named the cave where I first encountered the white Pikmin the White Flower Garden. Petrified Heart. The vivid color of this red stone reminds me of my wife's eyes when they burn with rage. Just between you and me, I've noticed lately that she's been getting more wrinkles. Now that I think about it, I've probably caused her a lot of stress. When I return to Hokotate, I'll take her on a long vacation. Or Olimar just wants to see his family, man. Luck Wafer. Oh, I know, I already read this one. Strife Monolith. Computers view the world in ones and zeros, but my people are different. Our world isn't simply black or white, right or wrong. Everybody is different. Maybe one day the chip will understand that. And maybe one day it won't give me sass when I ask it to collect a slimy specimen. Dream Architect. At night, I have nothing to do to keep me occupied. I've been searching for something to dull the boredom, but every time I find something I want to play with, it's broken. This object is a great example. It looks fascinating, but I can't get it to function. I guess all I have to do is write in this journal. Stone of Glory. This is a peculiar object. Just looking at it fills me with a powerful sense of nostalgia. Now that I think about it, the Pikmin had a curious look on their faces when they carried it. Or maybe that was just my imagination. Cosmic Archive. The cave we searched today was lined with flame-spewing spouts. The temperature in the cave was absolutely stifling. Oh, that reminds me. I completely forgot to tell Louie about Red Pikmin. He's so quiet, I sometimes forget he's even there. This item I salvaged from the cave seems to be some kind of storage device, but I have no way to play back the contents. Survival ointment. In a survival situation, the most important things are water, courage, and a first aid kit. I've got water and an endless supply of courage, but I don't have a first aid kit. Sometimes I don't have a whole lot of motivation either. I may be a daring explorer, but sometimes I just want to loaf around all day and sleep. Wait, what if the president reads this journal? I never dream of slacking on the job. Yeah. Everyone dreams of slacking. Alien billboard. There are several different patterns drawn on this object's surface. They appear to be characters or letters, but I can't make any sense of them. This is just an educated guess, but I wonder if this object is a kind of alien bulletin board. The size of the object seems about right for it. Yeah, I guess for his species. Alright, and finally, the Drow Ender. Today, I delivered an impromptu lecture on the basics of wilderness survival. As Louis' superior, it's my responsibility to teach him these skills. Walking around as much as we do generates an intense thirst, so water becomes very important. I told Louis that we have to ration our water carefully. That's what I was thinking until I found this. I was so parched that I couldn't help myself. I drank all the water in the canteen. It tasted so good. But when I turned around, Louis gave me a cold stare. Yeah, rightfully so. You hypocrite. Alright. That's going to be it for now. My voice is starting to go a little bit. I'll see y'all at a later date. I can't guarantee when I'll stream this again, but... because I still got more Super Mario Spectral to play, too. And I do want to get back to that as well. I just felt like doing something Pikmin related again. It's been a little while. Alright. Yeah. Hope everyone enjoys the rest of their day. And I will see you all later. Goodbye. Goodbye.